Should the entire world be vegan? This is my thoughts on why I'm vegan and why I don't think everyone should be. It's kind of clickbaity because I would always recommend people to go vegan, but I don't think the world is going to go vegan, and I want to give you my views from someone who was very one-sided, thinking everyone should be vegan, and why my whole opinion has changed now. So make sure you stay to the end. You may be watching this video as a vegan, you may be watching this video as someone who isn't a vegan and wants to go vegan, or you may quite frankly be watching this video and thinking veganism is stupid. I don't really care who you are, and I don't really care what your opinions are. But what I want to tell you is my understanding as being a vegan. Is a vegan diet healthy? Yes. Can vegans live without meat? Yes. Why isn't everyone vegan? I don't know, but I don't care. What I do care about is my opinions on it now. I used to be someone who was very preachy with my words and would say, if you're not vegan, I can't remember exactly my views on it, but it was along the lines of like, if you're not vegan, then you're not a good person. I generally used to think about that. I hold my hands up, and I'm also not naive to think that opinions can change, because my opinions change all the time. Remember that. Question things. Don't stick to one way of thinking for your whole life, because if you do, nothing's going to change. People who stick to one way of thinking never change their life. They only ever get what they've got. Be open. Don't be naive like so many people. And I'm being honest, people are naive to it. They think one way is the right way, and it's not true. And I'm the same. I don't think veganism is the only way you can go. My honest opinion to why I'm vegan is I personally couldn't take the life of an animal. I couldn't do it. So why would I pay someone to do it for me? That's my honest opinion with it. Am I healthy? Very healthy. Do I live? Yes, I've lived for 3 or 4 years being vegan, so it's perfectly fine. I also don't agree with processed meats. I personally don't. I just don't think we should eat processed meats, personally, and I steer clear of them as much as possible. The other day I accidentally had a pizza because I was chatting to one of my friends, and I didn't realise what I ordered, and I was like, oh, that's processed meats, but it's okay from time to time. But I tend to steer clear of it. I want to eat more of a organic, healthy lifestyle. That's my personal preference. I still like my chocolate, I still like all stuff like that, but I just try and steer clear of processed meats. But as I said, I used to be very preachy with it, and sort of my way is the only way, which is not true. My way is not the only way. There's many different ways. And if you look at any tribes in America, in South America, any tribes anywhere, some of them just eat meat. Some of them just eat fish. Some of them just eat vegetables. They're all very healthy. It's the common denominator in unhealthy people. Lots of sugar. Don't get me wrong, I still eat sugar. I literally, just before this, had an orange, but I also had a bit of chocolate. My sister bought me some chocolates from Hotel Chocolat after an amazing woman, Jerry, shout out to you, Jerry, if you're watching this video. She sent me some Hotel Chocolat chocolates, vegan chocolates, and they were so good. They were so good. It's not the point. The point is, I think we should do things that are for us, and I always said I would never be with someone who wasn't vegan. And I did do my last two, so my 2 exes, both of them were vegan. But my honest opinion is it wouldn't really matter to me now. It really wouldn't, because I always looked at it from a sense of, I always think long term whenever I do anything. And I always looked at it, well, my kids, I want my kids to be vegan. But then at the same time, recently, after having a conversation with an amazing woman, Steph, Dr. Stephanie El Shakier, that's it, El Shakier. She reminded me, I got it wrong in our podcast, but make sure you check out this podcast of me and Steph having a conversation, a very interesting conversation about healing as well. And we had a conversation, and I thought about it and said, it wouldn't matter I was with someone who wasn't vegan. It just wouldn't, because I wouldn't buy the meat, and I definitely wouldn't cook the meat. So there's no way that I'd do that. I just wouldn't. So if I'm cooking, and I do cook anyway, then I wouldn't be cooking meats and stuff like that. I just wouldn't do it. So I'm always thinking about it long term, and also I suppose it's down to someone's morals. Like, if someone's a good person, just because they kill animals doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad person. Some people, I just wasn't aware of it personally, but my honest opinion now, like I said, it's just down to I couldn't kill an animal. If it came to it and it was the only possible thing, then possibly, yeah, but it's never come to that, and it's never going to come to that. So I'm not even going to think about that, and it's a pretty irrelevant argument if I'm being honest. But when you think about it, there's extremists with everything. it's extremists with the pandemic that, personally for me, do my head in. They do. I think extremists in anything do my head in, if I'm being completely honest. And it's just, unfortunately, the world needs extremists, because then it also makes the non-extremists, if that makes sense. So I think some of the people that do the vegan activism, I understand, like, everything they say I totally agree with, but also I know that it's never gonna completely shift everyone in the world, although they've done some good things, and I do believe that. They've saved animals, they've created vegan menus across every restaurant now. Veganuary is always growing, and I do believe that everyone or the people that are doing things in an extremist way are doing it from a good place. They generally are doing it from a good place, because they believe that animals shouldn't have their lives taken just for our consumption, which I agree with. And they are making an impact. It's not my way of approaching things, and hence why we're all different in this world, and we all have different ways of doing things. Personally, if I'm probably being honest, it's more of a selfish point of view. I'm just not going to stand there and do it. I just don't. It's not something that inspires me to do it. There's more important things that I want to focus on, like helping people. That's why I make these videos. Or I suppose I could be a vegan activist, but I'm not going to do that, because I want to help more people. I just wanted to make this video so more people can get to know me, more about my thoughts. But let's face it, there's people that are vegan that are very healthy. There's people that aren't vegan that are very healthy. There's science that backs up why veganism is healthier than non-veganism, and there's science that backs up why non-veganism is healthier than veganism. Question things. Do what is right for you. Don't just follow the crowd. And that's why I do everything that I do. I try not to follow the crowd. I do usually the total opposite to what the crowd does. One reason why I went vegan as well, it was just totally opposite. One reason why I do what I do for work, because it's just totally opposite. I personally am probably an extremist in that way, where I just do the opposite of what everyone in the world does, because I don't agree with societal norms. I personally do not at all. I believe we should not conform to anything and do what we believe to be the right thing. And if we're doing what we believe to be the right thing, and we're good-natured people, then we're going to do the right thing. But if you are someone who isn't vegan and you do want to go vegan, I would 100% recommend it. But I would never force someone to do it, because I don't think that's the right thing to do. I would personally recommend to give people the perspective of, do you think this animal should lose its life for my consumption? I personally think not. But that's down to someone to make their opinion and their judgment on it. We are all individual human beings, and that's just my personal opinion on it. I just wanted to make this video just to really put it out there and just connect with anyone, and hopefully this has helped someone open their eyes up to something. But other than that, subscribe.